What is up, guys? My name is Speqtor, and welcome to the first entry into this series where I'll be covering my top 5 favorite Pokemon in each type. Now, I'm well aware that this idea has been done by a lot of people, but everybody has different favorites and opinions and experiences, so I guess it's technically different. Plus, I have a ton of Pokemon that I absolutely love and really want to talk about. So, let's talk about them. The only rule I've placed for myself in this series is that the Pokemon in each list have to have the type in question only be its primary or only typing, not their secondary typing. Except for flying, I had to make an exception for that. Keep in mind that this is all just my personal opinion, so if your favorite doesn't make it onto the list, sorry. Tough shit, it's my list. To choose our first typing, I used this random number generator, and the rock type was the type selected. So, let's get started. I can already feel you guys typing in the comments, "Probopass is a hideous, stupid piece of shit." And yeah, it kind of is. To be fair, there aren't that many rock types to choose from, especially with my one rule for this series in place. But I genuinely do like Probopass. Maybe I don't love it, and maybe it only just beat out Carbink for the number 5 slot, but I do like it. I used to be super into archaeology as a kid, so a Pokemon based on Easter Island heads was sure to flip a few switches. I have fond memories from my first playthrough of Ruby and seeing Roxanne's nose pass and thinking, man, that's actually pretty cool. And it took me a long time to figure out where to get one, because who honestly thinks to go back to Dewford Cave and smash rocks until one pops up? Either way, I finally got one, and it was cool to see that it could finally evolve in Generation 4. And I mean, it's not bad in battle, it's pretty bulky. Ever tried Earthquaking Wickstrom's Probopass? Growing up, I was never super fond of rock types. Most were pretty boring, spare a few exceptions. I never used a Golem because I never had anyone to trade with, and I faced the same problem with Onyx to Steelix when Gen 2 rolled around. I tried Aron, and even though I got it all the way to an Aggron, it still just felt eh. But that all changed with Generation 5. Of course, when I first laid eyes on Roggenrola, I, 1, said, what the fuck is that, and why is that actually kinda cute? And 2, had to kinda chuckle at the name. Roggenrola? Rock and Roller? It was pretty clever. So I caught it, and to my surprise, I loved it. It actually hit pretty hard, especially after evolving into Bulldor. But the true power came when I finally evolved it into Gigalith. I never thought a rock type could carry a whole team, but fuck. Gigalith did it. Not only is he strong, but have you seen his shiny form? It is so fucking sick. In fact, in my downtime from working on this video, I hunted a shiny Roggenrola.
Oh, yes! Yes! Oh my god! Holy shit! Finally! Oh my god, it's so pretty!
I named her Blue Sky. Breaking Bad fans will get the reference. The king of the prehistoric era earns the bronze today. Sorry, buddy. But hey, 3rd place is still pretty good. I really don't see how anyone can not like Tyrantrum. 5 generations of Pokemon with tons of dinosaur-inspired monsters, and not one T-Rex? Like, what gives? So when the leaks for Tyrant and Amora dropped, it comes as no surprise that I and millions of fans flipped our lids. Amora and Aurorus are based on Brachiosaurs and blah blah blah. We've heard that song and dance already. But a T-Rex Pokemon? Color me finally impressed. Speaking of color, have you seen Tyrantrum's shiny? That is royal as shit. When I first played through Y, I got Tyrant all the way to level 53 before I realized that you had to evolve him during the day, since I'd mostly played at night. But 7 badges and a Kalos Elite 4 later, Chomper the Tyrantrum had strong-jawed his way into the Hall of Fame. Then I played through again, tried Amora, and ditched it before I got to Grant. Because it's terrible. Mentioning Bastiodon in a video, and this high on the list, I'm getting flashbacks to my top 20 favorite Pokemon video.
Aggron is the better Steel Rock choice. Why would you ever like Bastiodon? Oh, its design is so stupid. No.
Bastiodon didn't impress me from the start like Tyrantrum did, but it definitely made me say, is pretty cool, which at the time was the equivalent of an A++ in a good noodle star. Fossils up to that point were kind of a disappointment. Yes, even Kabutops. Prehistoric sea life? Blah. Oh yeah, wait, there were no fossils in Gen 2. Prehistoric sea life? Blah. Oh, what's that? Is that actual dinosaurs? Fucking took you long enough. My first experience with Gen 4 was Pearl, and since the only rock types available for most of the game are Geodude and Onix, my go-to was Shieldon. And really, it did fairly well. Even though Bastiodon has 2 4x weaknesses, it's actually pretty good at taking hits, at least from NPCs. Sure, he's not the greatest in battle, but he holds his own for sure. Like I said, Bastiodon isn't as impressive as Tyrantrum, but it just has more sentimental value to me. With Tyrantrum, I tore through the Pokemon League. There was no challenge. But with Bastiodon, I sometimes had to struggle, but it was our struggle. And the concept of our was a pretty big deal for me during Gen 4, since it was one of the most awkward and antisocial stages of my life. And yeah, he's kind of ugly, but it's like that level of ugly to where it's actually kind of cute, kind of like animals with pushed in faces. My mascot may be Generation 5, but I will always be a Johto fanboy. No shame, no regrets. And can you blame me? Gold was my first game that I owned all for myself, and I played the fuck out of it. You can call me a sucker for a cute face, and Sudowoodo has always fit that bill. I always caught Sudowoodo, even if I had to reset after using all of my Pokeballs. Eventually though, he always made it into the PC, but those were the only times that I ever actually felt bad for doing so. I didn't want to, but it was for the good of the team. 8-year-old me didn't want to struggle through the Johto League, and an older me can see that Sudowoodo just didn't stand a chance back in those days. Limited move pool, stronger rock-type Pokemon choices, and a fighting and steel-type gym after catching him? He was toast before he made it into the toaster. Is that a saying? I want to say that's a saying, I don't know. And I mean, he was just kind of added as a classic Pokemon trope ripoff. But even though Sudowoodo was clearly just a redo of the Snorlax blocking the path concept, it felt more suspenseful. You can see Sudowoodo blocking the path before you even beat the first gym. You know it's there from the beginning, so to me, it's more satisfying than Snorlax, who you really kind of have to go out of the way during the heat of the third gym to know about before you hit him. Sudowoodo is just a better Snorlax, plain and simple. Sudowoodo is also eons cuter by far, as is Bonsly, which by the way, I was so psyched about when Gen 4 dropped. Plus, like I said, I'm a sucker for a cute face, and who can say no to this face? Or this one? I sure as shit can't. Oh, come here, you, let me spritz ya. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to become a member of the crew. Let me know your top 5 rock types and what type would you like to see next time? Electric or bug? Let me know and cast your vote in the comments below. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Pokemon Amino, all that stuff, links in the description. That's all for today, so until next time, this has been Speqtor, and as always, stay bueno. And what lovely choices in Pokemon we're given. We could take Rhyted or Croc, but I think I'll go with my personal favorite, Kiao. Now, I could give him a nickname, but why would you spoil such a quality name like this? All right, time to embark on the